When do we talk about the fucking shows and movies? Thanks for the F shot.
I don't know, but these arms are chewed off.
Show me what you got!
We'll drink it if you say.
Howdy, welcome back to Wasted Opinions, everybody. I hope you guys are in for a treat here, because this is going to be a gory gore fest. Turn away if you don't want to see it, because we're going to be talking about all the gores that we gored of all our gory, loving, hating goreness.
We got special guest Goro coming.
Goro.
I love gourds. Butternut squash.
Goro's eating gourds, playing with Goro. So we're talking about favorite gory moments in TV shows, movies, video games, what have you. Whatever fits the bill. If it's gory, we want to talk about it. But before we get too far, we're going to introduce ourselves. To the far right, we have
MussKeg. And I love the pus and the
oozing.
guts.
Yeah.
Buy me Bone Storm or go to hell. I'm LewisLightning.
I love it. I'm CountryBoy. Yes. And let's do a shot, I guess, before we get going.
Yo.
So who wants to start off this gore fest?
I will. I'll do it. Okay, I'm gonna go with a TV one right away. Little show came out called Game of Thrones. I don't know if you've heard of it.
I've heard of it, yeah.
Anyways, there's a fantastic episode. I believe it's season 4, but it might be season 5. Titled the Viper and the Mountain, I believe is what it's called. And if you're planning on watching it, you can cover your ears. So. Spoilers for a show that came out.
Big spoilers, yeah. With the fucking spoilers.
But it culminates in basically a battle between Oberyn Martell, who's this fantastic, nimble warrior. Kind of like a rogue almost, he's fast on his feet, moving around. Played by Mandalorian, Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
And he's fighting on behalf of Tyrion Lannister to try and prove his freedom, trial by combat against the Lannisters' champion of the Mountain, who is the Hound's brother, Gregor Clegane.
Yeah.
And Mountain is the apt word for him. They had several...
That's like the third or fourth version of the Mountain.
But they finally got it right, and they said
he was the best version, yeah.
And so he comes out, and he's just in this intimidating armor. Oberyn's wearing nothing really, but light clothes, and he's got a spear. And so the fight begins, and Oberyn's kind of flashy, showboaty, but as it goes on, he's got anger with this guy because this guy killed his sister, right?
Yeah,
and
it's personal,
raped his sister, killed his children. Or killed her children, his niece and nephews, and so they're fighting, and it starts to turn in Oberyn's favor. In fact, it looks like he's basically gonna.
He's winning.
Basically, has won. It seems like.
Exactly.
And then as he's kind of showboating and taking in his victory, the Mountain just with his pure strength just swings and knocks him straight off his feet, and then basically mounts on top of him.
Yeah.
Punches him so hard that his teeth just go flying right out, which you think would be enough gore as it is. But then he basically repeats the line that Oberyn's been wanting to. He's like, I'm Elia Martell, I raped her, and I murdered her, and then I crushed her head in just like this. And he takes his hands and he's pushing his thumbs into his eyes to the point where eventually then his head just explodes.
Yeah, it just basically pops.
It's just like, and they don't hide anything.
Yeah,
it is
nasty. For this character that you love, you grew to like this guy because he was an awesome character.
Yeah.
And then they just give him one of the gruesomest freaking deaths. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
So it was brutal, but yeah.
Yeah. You want to go next?
Sure, I'll go next. I kind of did mine a little bit different, my list. I am going to start off something that's just brutally gory. For me, it was like stuff that was gory that stuck with me. Like, for whatever reason, just stuck with me forever. But this one, I think you guys will agree with unanimously. The death of Alex Murphy in RoboCop.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so, they're busting these criminals, whatever they think they are. But they get, ambushed, basically. And I think first his arm gets like blown off.
Yeah, they got like shotguns and everything.
Yeah,
and, just...
and like he's already in pain, right? His arm's gone, and they're kind of like Red Foreman and the other guys just like laughing at him, like, and then they just start unloading on him, and it's just like, you know, blood, whatever, squibs going off everywhere as he's he's just getting shot up, and you see like his body's being shredded by all these fucking shots or whatever. And I mean that happens a lot in RoboCop, like even the big CEO.
It is a gory movie for sure.
But that one I just remember that stuck with me, like him just sitting there because. It's a guy in pain, and they had no sympathy, and they just keep like shooting him and shooting him and shooting him until there's nothing
They
left.
used that R rating, for sure, to the nth degree. Like which?
No, don't say any more about RoboCop. We're gonna start talking about more RoboCop.
No, I was gonna say that.
So at the end.
Okay.
I was gonna say that scene. I remember as a kid, like that scarred me. I was like, "Oh, this is gruesome as hell." I've never seen something so freaking jarring.
You should have been watching it as a kid.
I didn't know it wasn't a kids movie.
Many times.
I didn't know it wasn't like a family friendly movie. This is definitely the R-rated movie. I was like, "Oh,
I had it like
gosh.
recorded on VHS, and my mom would let me bring it to the babysitter's house to watch when I was
It's funny because like you know the cartoons and stuff they made were all geared towards kids. Like why are kids watching?
Why did they make cartoons? Why did they make toys for these freaking franchises? It makes no sense.
I just thought I could do that. You know, if some guy shot me, I'd just be a robot. You know, whatever. But Death of Alex Murphy is my first choice.
My first one will be a sci-fi horror movie. The Thing. The Thing came out in the 1982, maybe. I can't remember what year it is. But yeah, I love the use of practical effects in this movie. If you know me, I love practical effects. I've said this before. And one of the scenes was, you don't know who this thing could be. Like at first, it started off. Spoiler for all of these, I think a lot of these things. But spoiler, it started off as this dog, and you didn't realize that this dog was this thing, and then it transforms into other people within the movie, and that's what the whole thing's about. Is they trying to find out who is this creature. You have no idea, and it morphs into these different versions of them too. And at one point, one of the guys seems like they're having a heart attack, and they need to get like. AED resuscitate, or sorry, what do you call it? Defibrillator, paddles. So the doctor comes and he's gonna put the paddles on him, and as soon as he puts the paddles on, this gaping mouth opens up in this guy's chest with these sharp teeth and chomps down on this guy's arms, and it bites his arms clean off, and he rips his arms off, and all of a sudden he's just like armless. So they actually used a guy with no arms for that scene, which is kind of cool.
That's why you always leave a note.
And then even after that, it like morphs into even more, like the head kind of like stretches off, and then it turns into this weird spider thing, and it crawls away, and you have no idea who could do the thing. It's creepy. The special effects in that movie are awesome. I wish they would do more movies like that nowadays. They don't. But yeah, it stands as one of my favorite. Well, it
still looks fake though, but it's gross is the thing.
Yeah, exactly. You know it's not real, but it's also meant to be alien, so you can accept it as being an alien thing and not looking quite right. Yeah. So I love it. Yeah, it's one of my favorite gory moments.
I have it on DVD, but I never actually sat down and watched it.
Oh, it's great.
Well, let's stick with the RoboCop theme because there's actually a scene in that I think was way gorier and way actually more scarring as a kid. There's a scene where near the end, when they're getting revenge, the car goes careening into basically a huge tank of acid.
Yeah.
And it spills out on one of the cronies that was involved in the shoot.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you see him coming out of like the acid, like steam and everything towards one of the guys. And his face is just melted, and his arms, his skin's like hanging
like a hunchback almost.
And he's like, Aah!
Yeah, the fact that he's like still alive was what really.
And he like goes up to his buddy, he's like, no, and the guy's like, get off me.
Yeah.
Jim's out.
No, that's disturbingly gross.
He gets hit by a car.
His ankle, they put it out of his misery.
Just smush on the screen.
Exactly.
It was great.
It was so
just finish him off already. This guy is suffering.
Yeah. I knew you were going to say that because you mentioned in one of our other videos about how that weirded you out. Like he's going to break.
Yeah. Anyways, that's one.
So I got one that's I don't think you guys are going to know. Metal Gear Solid, like the first of the Metal Gear Solid games. There's a scene in it where you get like, you know, Metal Gear. It's spy, espionage, stealth game. Yeah. You're not really expecting it, and up to that point in the game, you're just like, you know, this super secret agent kind of going through all this stuff. You get to this hallway, you hear like you're in a what's that called? Like one of those chambers where they not depressurize, but they sanitize you or whatever, right? And as you're in there, you hear like all
decontamination.
Decontamination. You hear these guys like shooting stuff and screaming and hollering. And you're like, what the hell's going on in the next room? And you go in there and like you see there's probably like a half dozen guys. Like the whole one makes an L, right? Okay. But you see like right ahead of you down the hallway, there's like all these guys like they're cut up and they're slashed. And there's like blood and stuff all over the walls. And you're like, what's going on? And you take a couple steps forward, and then this guy comes crawling around or stumbling, I guess, across the hall. It's like it's a ghost. And then he like falls down. So you, as a character, you walk down past all these dead bodies that are just slashed up, and you go around the corner and you see like this guy who's like on his back, and there's like blood pouring out of him, and he's just like spiked on something, but there's nothing. He's just floating in the air, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? When did this become a horror game? And it's the cyborg ninja. He's got like a stealth cloaking thing, and he cloaks back in. And you see he's got like his sword like right through that guy's body, and he's just like still alive. Like shit. He just like throws him down, and it's like it was a horror movie. You just all this blood and gore.
Doesn't seem like it would fit into a stealth espionage type.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, it's PS1, so it wasn't that bad at the time.
Yeah, the graphics itself.
They did the Twin Snakes remake, and it's better, but they also changed it. Like, it's more action-y, where he like slices things up and runs around. It's like,
That's
And I know, like, for me, that's what's really stuck with me. And I know a lot of people might say, well, if you're gonna pick a gory moment, you could pick the moment where the Metal Gear like crushes him, like he's gonna step on you, but then the cyborg ninja comes to save you, and he like holds the foot up for like a minute so you can get out of the way, and then it just crushes him.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I like that cyborg ninja part in the hallway is really stuck with me.
Okay. I'll go with another video game then. It's not a very big scene, and honestly, the animation itself is very, very mediocre at best. On Twisted Metal 2. The very ending, if you played the game all the way through with Axel, then you know his story is that his dad bound him to these big wheels that he's been stuck in for like years basically, and his dad said he was a disappointment and all that stuff. At the very end of the game, he goes to his dad and he wants out of the wheels. And he says, "No, you're still the disappointment." And he's just ripping it, tearing into him. And then Axel's like, "Fine, I'll do it myself." And he basically pulls his arms, and he rips his arms out of the thing, and he's just basically got nubs. So I guess I got a theme going here with the guys with arms being torn out. But it was like the animation is very shitty. It's like basically just like pictures with like little bits of animation going on. But I remember like seeing like the bits of like bone stick out of the arms. It's like that's pretty gruesome. Holy crap. For a game that, I mean, yeah, it's a gruesome idea, this game, but that was probably the most gruesome part of it, I thought, was back in Twisted Metal 2 when Axel just pulls his arm and just tears him off, and he's like, yeah, I don't want to be part of this anymore.
Oh, it goes back to me. I'm waiting for it to go, Lou.
Yeah.
I'm going to go again with I got a movie one later, or a game one later, but I don't like it as much, so I'm going to go with a gore moment because not only was it gory, but I liked watching it happen. It's in the movie Shaun of the Dead, zombie movie.
I think I know what you're going to say.
And there's a scene near the end when they're trying to hold off the zombies inside a bar. And there's this absolute twat of a friend who's been jealous of Shaun the whole time named David. He's a prick. He like leads the charge to kill Shaun's mom before she's turned and everything like that. And tries to kill Shaun, and the gun wasn't loaded, but he pulled the trigger. And so at that point he's like, right, I'm leaving, and he goes and he's throwing a hissy fit, and they're saying, don't go, it's stupid. And right at that moment the windows break in and the zombies grab him and they pull him out and they just start ripping his guts there, pulling the intestines out, and you can see him slowly start to die. It wasn't quick, obviously, but
he wasn't a likable character, so you're like, ha. Even though it's disgusting.
I loved it.
I was going to put it on my list, but like, oh, these guys love that movie as much as I do. They're going to pick that too.
I love that scene.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay, so this one, I don't know if you guys watch X-Files as much as me. I got to find the actual number.
I love the X-Files.
X-Files, Season 6, Episode 17.
Oh,
Trevor.
Gotcha.
Go ahead then. I'll let
Yeah,
you.
Trevor, that was really gruesome. That one. That's just gross stuff, you know?
So the story behind that one is like it was like this guy in prison was put in a box during like this weird thunderstorm or whatever, and he gets this power that he's basically like electricity, so he can go through any conductive surface he can pass through. But this is like some psycho criminal that escapes, right? He starts like anyone that he's pissed off at, he fucking like electrocutes them to like a crisp. There's nothing left, and he starts going on revenge against his ex-girlfriend and his friend and whatever. But he finds out that he had a son, and he's trying to find his ex-girlfriend to kill her and get his son, which she's trying to keep from him, right? The whole thing is like, anything conductive, right? So he could pass right through a metal wall. Like, they start shooting him with bullets, but the bullets just pass right through because it's metal, right? And even like wood, because you can kind of like...
If it's got moisture in it?
Moisture in it, yeah. He can pass through wall, although it burns it as he goes, right?
Oh, okay.
So they find the only thing that stops him is like, I think Mulder starts using like silicate bullets, like glass or whatever, and glass stops him. And at the end of the episode, I remember like the woman takes her child and she runs to a phone booth to call for help, and she like jams the door shut. And the guy's trying to get in, but glass is like the one thing he can't deal with, right? And he's, or no, it's Scully. Scully's in there with the kid, and he's trying to get in, banging on the door of this phone booth. And the girlfriend, who's still alive, is like, "Fuck you, you asshole." She gets in her car and starts running at it. He's like, "Go ahead, bitch." It's like, I was like, "You can't hurt me." She starts driving the car right at him, and the windshield's glass. So as it hits him, he goes right through the engine, the hood, and everything. But when it comes to the glass, it just slices him right in the waist, and he's fucking dead there. And I was like, "Oh, that was so satisfying."
I love the X-Files. I want to rewatch it because I don't remember that.
It was a hard choice between that one and there's like another one that I don't know what season stuff is, where a guy has like his little brother living inside his gut.
Okay.
And that one was just gory because you see him climb in and out. But I remember this one more fondly. Like in my head, it just stays in there. So I love that one. Just seeing a guy sliced in half.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with a movie here. I'll say Starship Troopers. That one has it's got a few gory moments. The one that I think stuck with me probably the most is Michael Ironside's death. He was just this hard ass lieutenant, and then there's these like big beetles with like this acid that it shoots, or it's like fire basically that it shoots, like almost like lava fire, whatever. And he like falls into like this pit, and I think there's a whole bunch of that acid in there or something, and his legs just get like ripped right off, and burnt right off, and he's just like, and he's like the most badass this like whole movie, and he's like, just kill me. He tells Rico to fucking put a gun to his head and kill him, and fucking Rico does it. He fucking finishes him off. I was like when they pull him out of that pit, and he has no legs, I was like, oh shit.
I don't think it was the melty ones. I do think it was just like the ones tearing at him. From
you think that it ripped his legs off?
They're ripping his legs off.
I know what happened in the scene when those acid ones were around, when they were shooting acid. So
I remember the part where like the brain bug like sticks.
I was gonna say that's more of a gory one.
That's another one too. I was between those two for me when it went into the brain. It was like,
because they do a really good job of like making you think his brain was getting sucked out.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
it was between, but the one with Michael Ironside, that one I remember shocking me. I guess when I was watching the movie, like, oh shit. That one came up later in the movie, so maybe that's why it doesn't resonate as much.
I'm gonna do. Oh man, this is tough. I'm torn between. There's some that I think are like iconic kind of thing, and they're really cool like that. So I think I'm gonna throw an iconic one on there. It's not ultra gory, but it's in the movie Terminator 2 when they go see Miles Dyson. And he's trying to prove to him that he's like the Terminator, and he basically takes a blade, cuts it up his arm, and then does like a twist around and everything like that, and then you see him just peel off his arm kind of thing. It's not as gory because he's a machine and everything like that, but the concept of it and everything was, and they did a really good sound of like the skin pulling off. Yeah, it was a good.
Yeah, again, practical effects were fucking awesome. And it was well done.
What did you think I was gonna say?
I thought you were gonna say the part where Witch's parents were dead, and you just see like the spear like through the milk and through his mouth.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say that part.
I did a video game. I did a TV show. I'll do a movie, I guess. The Jackal.
I
Jack Black scene.
The Jack Black scene. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, you know, he's just like the kind of dopey, funny, whatever character.
He played that a lot. He played like the techie kind of guy in a lot of movies. Like he did that in Enemy of the State too.
You don't think he's going to be like, you know, a victim, like, or at least if it is, it's going to be like something quick and subtle, right? But this is like, you know, he's talking to Bruce Willis's character about buying this gun.
Yeah, he wants to test the gun.
And I think he like blackmails him a bit, but Bruce Willis is like, well, yeah, let me just, you know, test out the aim on this.
The sighting, yeah.
Take this, was it the can? He's like, hold the can up.
I think it was a pack of smokes.
Okay, yeah, but he's like, runs out into like the test fire range, which first of all, big red flag. I don't know who would do that. Even someone is kind of...
He scared him into doing it. He wasn't like, okay, I'll go out there.
So he goes up there, and then like, it shoots off his hand, and then that's the first thing, and it's just, you see is like, whatever stump is left from his hands.
Yeah.
Ah! And then, I mean, the other bullets just follow up and just get shot to pieces. But just him losing his hand, I remember that stuck with me. Like, I don't remember anything else from the Jackal aside from that one scene.
Because he wanted to be sighted in perfectly, and he's like, hey, we'll test it.
I think they did a test right before, didn't they? Where they did get it sighted in, because it was off.
I don't think it was, it was just off. And so he's like, okay, well then get up there and we'll...
oh, I thought he just did that after the fact, just so he could kill him.
No, I think he was
Doesn't he shoot him afterwards, too, when he like runs away? He's like... sets the gun off after.
Well, yeah.
Yes, he was saying he finished him off.
But
I think he was proving to him that this is a reason why he needs to be sighted in, because I just blew your fucking...
Well, also that he was trying to, like I said, blackmail him for more money. Like, if you don't pay me this, I'll tell him what this got sold for.
Yeah, that's what it was.
But yeah, that movie, like... And I've never heard anyone talk about the Jackal otherwise.
No, for sure. The whole movie itself isn't that great, but there's some scenes in there that I think stand out.
Was it Richard Gere that's the other guy in that?
Yeah, he was the guy trying to track him down. I'll do a video game pick here. It's a game that isn't in itself very gory, but it has a surprisingly gory moment in it, and it's Lara Croft Tomb Raider. It's the reboot of Tomb Raider. It came out, I think it was the PS3. I think it came out originally, or Xbox 360.
I think so.
I think that era. But it's a moment where you're like careening down a river, and. Yeah, you're just like, okay, you're trying to avoid obstacles on this river. You don't want to get hit by things. But if you go like too far to the edge, you'll get impaled
through the jaw.
Through the freaking bottom of your jaw, out of your freaking head, with a freaking tree, like a tree branch, like sticks out. You're like, what the fuck is going on?
The worst,
and she's like still alive too. She's like,
that's the worst part. She's like, like she knows she's still feeling it.
What are you doing? Putting this into this game? This does not belong here.
They did it a lot of times, though. To be fair, there was like parts where she painfully died. You're like, whoa, what are you thinking?
That was the one that stood out for me. It was definitely that river one with the freaking tree branch up her freaking jaw. Like that did not belong in the game whatsoever. It was a good game. It's just those moments were over the top.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
What are we at here?
I think we'll do...
That's 3.
That was my... Yeah, was it 3 or 4?
That was 4.
So we'll do one more piece. You got more.
Oh, I got lots more.
Okay. I got lots more too, but I don't know how many Craig has.
Well, you know, we can only get these episodes so long, right? So.
Yeah, one more sounds good. One more.
I'm gonna go with... so I should have a game here, because we try to mix it up. So I got lazy on this one. God of War, because there's some great gore moments. When he gets Hercules gauntlets in God of War 3, right?
Yeah.
And he basically climbs up and he's just punching his face into a pulp of nothing.
Yeah.
Kind of similar to the Oberyn Martell one, but it was that was one that stuck out for me.
It didn't stick out because you know Hercules. He's probably the most famous of the Greek pantheon.
Strong, yeah.
And for you to like just bash his face in like that, it's pretty.
Almost disrespectful.
Yeah, kind of. I almost went with the God of War 3 one as well, where you rip Helios' head off.
Yeah.
But
I saw that one on the list.
I was kind of thinking like the God of War 3 where he sticks his thumbs into Poseidon's eyes, which is really weird because it's like your second person view, so you're seeing from Poseidon, you get like the eyes, thumbs in your own eyes, like the fuck.
Yeah, you're the one being destroyed.
So you know, I got a couple of good picks left. I'll pick one that I think I can go into depth a little bit more than if it was an honorable mention. Wolverine, X-Men Origins Wolverine for PlayStation. Well, I mean, it was on multiple consoles. It was a game.
Yeah, underrated game.
I mean, the whole game, there's a whole lot of stuff. Like, in the game, one of the mechanics is you can get hurt, and you'll see it in your character, like he gets
Yeah.
blown away by the shotgun. You'll have like a huge gaping hole where your rib cage is, which is adamantium.
Yeah.
But you'll just see like all the bits of meat.
You'll see it live, reform basically, yeah.
But I'm gonna go with like the cinematic in it. There's a part where what's that guy's
gun?
No, I don't remember the
Helicopter.
Oh, that was
No, not that one either. I mean, they're all good. But the scientist has like in the future, he's got Wolverine like handcuffed or whatever, and he's gonna like do some more experiments on Wolverine. Maybe try to kill him. I don't know. But Wolverine just like rips his hand out of the handcuffs, and it just like peeled off all his skin.
Flesh, yeah.
So it's just his like metal hand with a couple chunks of meat on it, and he starts fighting. Like, to me, that was like the gory part, just ripping your flesh off to get that off. I mean, of course, with Wolverine just healed back in a minute, but it was just like, oh. But yeah, there's the helicopter
Still
scene.
felt it, yeah.
The helicopter scene where he like throws a guy into the blades, or
I was thinking the scene. I think it was on a boat. A guy was shooting like a Gatling gun right at him, and put like a big hole in his stomach, and he kept walking towards him, and then he basically just slashed the shit out of him.
that reminds me of something else, but I don't remember that one otherwise.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was on a boat. I can't remember. My last one, I believe it was a movie. It's a very recent movie. Probably I think it came out last year, 2022. Depending when this airs, this video. 2022, I'm pretty sure it came out. The Northman. I don't know if you guys have seen it.
I haven't seen it, no.
It's
I heard it was really good.
It's pretty cool.
It's in my queue. So
have you ever seen The Witch?
No.
The Witch. It's a slower paced, but it's a pretty brutal. They're both pretty brutal movies. But this one specifically because it's got Norse mythology. It's a guy who's out for revenge. It's similar to like God of War in that sense that his dad gets murdered by his uncle, and then he's trying to, and for his whole life he's like in wars, and he's becoming this I don't know if he becomes a general or whatever, but he becomes this big head honcho fucking guy, and then he becomes a slave at one point, and he ends up working for like where his uncle is now. He's like a prince or a king or something, and he wants revenge. That was his whole goal, basically his whole life, is to like get ripped and fucking destroy his uncle. And at one point, when he becomes like a ghost, basically, he comes out at night and he destroys a bunch of his men. And in the morning, you see the gore that he did, because he had like basically stuck a bunch of the body pieces of the guys that he killed onto a wall, and it made like the shape of almost like a mythological like horse or something like that, with these body pieces of human, and you only see it for like a flash, like a very fleeting moment, but it's gross as hell, and it's a really good movie. It's a slower watch, but it's really good. It's really good.
Isn't that the one that ends like in a volcano? They have a fight?
It does. Yeah, him and his uncle are fighting in a volcano. Yeah.
I'll throw a just an honorable mention because I know you guys got some. And
sure.
But I'll be very quick on it because that's the key about honorable mentions. The Rock, when he uppercuts the VX poison gas in the guy's mouth.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Or even just when the guy gets stuck in the chamber with the VX poison gas.
In his chest, yeah.
No, but when the guy gets stuck in the chamber at the beginning, the uppercut one has a little bit more. I enjoy it more.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I got like a bunch here. Dead Alive, like pretty much a whole movie. But I would specifically say the part where like his mom eats a dog. That's what stuck with me, because like they see the mom and she's like sitting in the room like something's wrong with her. She looks sick, and they like see a little bit of hair, and they grab it and they start kind of pulling out, and then it's just like pulling and pulling, and it's like the whole hide of the dog. She ate the fucking dog, and it's like a German Shepherd sized dog.
Yeah.
It's not a little thing.
Yeah.
They pull that out, but like the whole movie, like the last 40 minutes of it is nothing about gore. Like they throw like a baby in a blender and stuff. It's like over the top bullshit. Jurassic Park 2, Eddie, when he pulls the truck up, and he's a hero.
Such a hero to see here.
Ripped apart by 2 T-Rexes.
Oh yeah, they're just like basically doing a wishbone thing with his body.
Daredevil, the Netflix series. When Kingpin crushes a guy's head in the door.
In the car door, yeah.
Yeah, he just keeps hitting, and then it's like it breaks apart. I don't know how else to describe it. And the body falls. And the last thing I want to do, it's a cartoon, so it's not that gory. But Gravity Falls, the zombie episode when they start beating the zombies up, because it's like they shove a disco ball in that one zombie's body, and it's still alive. and they're like punching heads off and crushing these zombies. Like it's not so bad because it's not.
Yeah, definitely not gory in the aspect of all the other.
If you saw it live action, you'd be like, "Oh my god, what the hell is going on?" But it's great. I mean,
yeah, it's cool for like a more kid-friendly cartoon. It is. Yeah,
that's why it reaches honorable mention. But that's it.
I was gonna say Mortal Kombat. There's a plethora of gory things you can do. I'll just say Sub-Zero's spine rip is the classic. Basically, kind of like off of like the Predator.
Kung Lao with the spinning blade hat.
Oh yeah, exactly. Love that. So there's tons you can do with Mortal Kombat. And then last one I'll say is the Saw franchise itself as well.
Yeah.
It's similar. There's pretty much everything in that movie. All of those. But my favorite one that is probably the goriest that I think is the most disgusting is this one where a guy has to get enough blood to like fill a vat or something, and the only way you can do it is to like basically take a saw blade up his arm. So he like is like a saw, and he like has to like ride his arm up into it, and you just see like his hand like splitting open. It was brutal. It was brutal.
I had the needle.
I forget
pit.
which saw movie it was.
I had the needle pit on my list too.
Yeah, that's a gross.
Junkie has to go digging through a pit of dirty needles to find
that was freaking brutal. But yeah, that's going to do it for our goriest moments that we love. Where can we find each other on the far right?
Twitch, Twitter, PSN, MussKeg.
I'm on Twitch as the LewisLightning. Maybe I'll play something gory on there.
And I'm on Twitch, Twitter, PSN, and YouTube, where you can find me unboxing stuff like this. Van Helsing. Splinter as Van Helsing.
I thought it was a Van Helsing movie.
Splinter. Van Helsing movie? It's a rat.
I'd watch it.
Anyways, that's going to do it for our gory moments. What are your favorite gory moments? Put down in the comments below.
He's having a heart attack.
Put like an alien popping out in the video. Oh my god, he's dead!